is Joe. I've made him the perfect player on every single attribute of Football Manager. But there's one problem. He plays for Dagenham Redbridge, which is one of the worst football teams in England. So today they go together from the National League to the Premier League in 20 seasons. This is how my boy Joe looks like. He has 20 stats in everything. He's the best player of all time. He's going to be locked in Dagenham for the next 20 years. So let's see how well he does in his first season. On the first season for Joe, he's done, and oh my days, he cooked. For Dagenham, he played 45 games and he scored 46 goals, and he had 26 assists. He had an average match rating of 7.92, and Dagenham won the league with 123 points. They lost one game all year. That is insane. He has now helped Dagenham get promoted from the National League South to the National League. And as you can see, Joe dominates in almost every single stat. This is incredible. Can he really take them to the Premier League? As Joe's second season is now done, and oh my days, he had an even better season this year than last year. This season he played 48 games and he scored 48 goals. He also had 21 assists in every single competition. But most importantly, he has made 6 appearances for England. And so far for the England national team, he has played 6 games and he has 1 goal and he has 1 assist. So far, he's decent. And this is the game where he made his debut for England against Switzerland. He's the number 9 and he had Foden, Palmer and Saka behind him. This is crazy for somebody playing in the National League. I wonder if Joe will ever win the Ballon d'Or this video. And as much as Joe had an insane season individually, he also helped Dagenham win the league yet again, and they've now been promoted to League 2. And Dagenham getting promoted back to League 2 is special because this is the first time they've been in League 2 since 2016. And the good news is we're getting closer and closer to getting to the Premier League. And another reason why we should get to the Premier League is because KSI, who recently became the owner of Dagenham, has said that his goal is to get Dagenham to the Premier League. So hopefully we can help him achieve that goal today. Let's see how Dagenham do in League 2, and let's see if Joe can help them get back to promotions into League 1. If he can do it, give him the Ballon d'Or, because this is the greatest player I've seen in my life. So now at the end of the 3rd season, and Joe has kicked yet again. He's played 48 games, so this guy plays almost every single game every season, and he has scored 43 goals, but this time he only had 9 assists, which is interesting because before he was averaging about 20 assists per season, but now it's gone down to 9. Is that because his teammates are too bad for the League 2, so they're wasting his chances, or is that because he's more selfish now? But if you take a look at Joe's milestones, this guy is absolutely insane. He became the top goal scorer in League 2, and he won the Player of the Season for League 2, and he also helped Dagenham get promoted from League 2 to League 1. This time they did not win the league, but they came in 2nd place, which is guaranteed promotion. This is going so incredibly well. Every single season they've gotten promoted. And fun fact, this is the first time Dagenham have been promoted to League 1 since 2011. So almost 15 years wait, and they're finally back in League 1. All they needed was the best player of all time with maxed out stats. And Joe Haigh is now 22 years old, and he's also now on international duty with England. So he's played his first major tournament, which is going to be the Euros. He already has 15 caps and 4 goals for England. The goal is to become the highest goal scoring player for England and overtake Harry Kane's record. And in his career in general, this guy has played 173 games and he has 139 goals, which is insane. But next season, can he help Dagenham get promoted to the championship? I don't think he can. The team that he's playing for is not that great. Joe is doing an insane carry job. This guy has 43 goals, and the second highest is Jaden Locker with 7 goals. So this guy has carried the team on his back. Can he do it for another season though? Season 4 is not over for Joe. I have a feeling that he has cooked. He has now played 216 games in his career and he has 174 goals. Very impressive numbers. He's 23 years old. I mean, his age doesn't matter because he's perfect. He's the perfect player. Even if he's 70 years old, he'll still be perfect and he will still be scoring loads of goals. But speaking of goals, even in League 1, he scored 40 goals in 52 games, and this time his assists went up. He had 15 assists this season, and he also had 18 man of the matches. The media are already calling him an icon for Dagenham. This guy is literally the English Messi. He is so good that the media is now saying he needs to find a new club. But little do they know that he's stuck here forever. I've just realized he's now made 31 caps for England and he has 15 goals. And England won the 2028 Euros against Portugal 4-1, and Joe scored 2 goals in the final, which means that Harry Kane's chain has been snatched. He also won the top goal scorer award in the Euros by scoring 9 goals, which is the most goals scored by a player in the Euros since 1984 by Platini. He also made it to the Euros Dream Team as well, and he won the Player of the Tournament for the Euros, and he also won the Young Player of the Tournament for the Euros. He's already the greatest player to ever play for England. He's better than my boy Dagenham, I have to be honest. Even though Joe just won the Euros with England, he could not help Dagenham get to the championship because Dagenham finished on 78 points, 1 point behind Burnley and 2 points behind Luton Town. So they finished in 3rd place in League 1, which is very solid considering they're supposed to be in the National League. But that's kind of disappointing that they did not get back-to-back promotions. And even though they're in League 1, they're still playing at the Victoria Road Stadium and they have a 6,000 capacity. I wonder if that number is going to go up in the future. But I want to give Joe and Dagenham some help. So every time Joe scores 40 goals or more in a season, I'll add 5 million to Dagenham's transfer budget. And every season he gets promoted, that 5 million doubles. So he scored more than 40 goals this season, so they will get the transfer budget of 5 million. Hopefully they spend it wisely. Hopefully next season they can get promoted to the championship, and that's a big step. But in season 5, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Joe, the perfect player in every single stat, has not been selected for the England squad. How is that even possible? Pep Guardiola is the manager of England, and instead of using Joe, he's decided to use Palmer as a first line as if he's Lionel Messi. He's not Messi, buddy. You know what? Never mind that. He still has 41 caps for England and he has 20 goals. Harry Kane is currently the all-time top goal scorer for England with 78 goals, so that's the record we have to beat. But moving forward from that, Joe had another incredible season. Played 49 games and he scored 39 goals and 21 assists. This guy is getting about 50 GA every single season. And Dagenham has won League One. Let's go! With 91 points, baby. That's what I'm talking about. They've now promoted to the championship for the first time in the history, all thanks to Joe. Because Joe scored more than 40 goals in the season, he also played 8 international games and he scored 5 goals, so that counts as well. We get to give Dagenham 10 million in transfer budget to buy some new players and improve the team. I think they used the 5 million last season to buy Omari Kellyman, which is, you know what, not a bad signing, honestly. But we'll up the transfer budget to 10 million. I'm curious to see how well they do in the championship. Hopefully they don't get relegated. Another season has come for the end for Joe, and let's see how well it did. First season in the championship, is he scoring more than 40 goals in a season? And the answer is actually no. He played 47 games, he scored 38 goals, and he had 11 assists. So unfortunately, we're not able to add money to Dagenham's transfer budget. And realism has hit us. Dagenham finished in 16th place in the championship. We were used to back-to-back promotions. There was 16th place? How is that happening then? So for the first time Dagenham and Joe have struggled. Let's see 3 seasons into the future, and let's see how things have evolved. So I am back now. I have simulated 2 seasons, not 3, and that is because I have good news. But before we get to the good news, let's look at what Joe has done in the past 2 years. So in the 21-31 season, Joe played 50 games and he scored 44 goals and had 10 assists. And internationally, he played 10 games, he scored 8 goals and had 4 assists. And the season after that, he played 11 games internationally, he scored 7 goals and had 6 assists. And then for the club, he played 50 games and he scored 41 goals and he had 14 assists. This is like prime Ronaldo, prime Messi numbers. The reason why I stopped the simulation in the season early is because Dagenham Redbridge have won the championship and they've just been promoted to the Premier League, baby. Joe has single-handedly carried Dagenham from the National League South to the Premier League, and that took about 8 seasons. And I forgot to mention, the year before, in 2032, he won the Euros yet again with England. So this guy has 2 Euros. Hopefully next season he gets to play the World Cup this time. And because Joe scored more than 40 goals in a season and Dagenham got promoted, that now means they get to add 20 million to the transfer budget of Dagenham. And that takes Dagenham's transfer budget up to 57 million. So they can definitely buy some good players, and hopefully the man should stay up in the Premier League. And hopefully now Joe Haigh can start to win some Ballon d'Ors. And people forget how big the gap from the championship to the Premier League really is. And I don't know if Dagenham are going to stay up next season. I've now seen Joe's and Dagenham's first season in the Premier League. Let's see how things went. Hopefully they did not get relegated. But before we look at how Dagenham did, let's see how Joe did on the individual level. He did very well. He played 37 games, but this time he only scored 22 goals and had 8 assists, which is way lower from his 40 goal tally and his 30 goal tally. Quite obvious that the Premier League is not an easy league to play in, especially if you play for Dagenham. And he now has 69 caps and he has 39 goals for England. He's not quite yet there to Kane, but he's cashing up. And in total he's played 434 games and he has 339 goals. Very solid stuff. But let's see the big reveal. Did Dagenham stay up in the Premier League? Dagenham did stay up in the Premier League. Okay, baby. They finished in 11th place with 46 points. Bukayo Saka had the highest average match rating, but Joe had the most goals in the league. Pavlovic had the most assists. Dagenham in the Premier League is crazy though. A couple of seasons ago they were in the National League South, and now they're in the Premier League. And I've just noticed the Dagenham Stadium is now called the Stamford Bridge. They have a new stadium, 52,000 capacity. Chelsea also has the Stamford Bridge. How does that even make sense? Both teams play in the same stadium, I guess. Fair enough. And what I respect with Dagenham as well is that they've stuck with the same manager. The manager is still Lee Allison. I respect that. He's been there from the bottom and he's there at the top. But for the second time running, Joe has not been selected for the World Cup squad. Maybe because he plays for Dagenham, maybe. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. He plays in the Euros, he plays in the National League, but he doesn't get to play in the World Cup for some reason. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to save my head 7 seasons to when he's 35 years old. Let's see if in that time frame he can win the Ballon d'Or and win the Premier League. So alright, so in the 7 seasons, he's now 35 years old. So he's still insane. He's still the best player of all time. Let's see how he did. In the first 2 seasons, he was getting 27 goals in the league, which is very solid. But then he went down to 23 goals, and then he went up to 25 goals. But then in 2039, Dagenham actually got relegated to the championship. So he scored 36 goals. But even though they got relegated, they still had some international success. Dagenham won the Conference League twice, in the year 2037 and in the year 2039. So fair enough, he has 2 international trophies with his local club, but that is a W. And in 2035, he got the European Golden Shoe at the age of 30. But unfortunately, he has never been shortlisted for the Ballon d'Or. That's a shame. But finishing in 6th place in the Premier League with Dagenham is a huge achievement in my opinion. And I just realized Dagenham still has Lee Allison as their manager. This is crazy. Lee Allison has been the manager since 2025. He's been there for 16 years. What the manager? And I just realized in 2038, Dagenham beat Arsenal in the final of the Carabao Cup. That's what we like to see. At the age of 35, he has played 697 games and he has 515 goals. So my question is now, in the next 5 years before the age of 40, can he get to 1,000 goals? He also so far has 75 caps and he has 42 goals for England. I don't know if he's going to be able to break the record of Harry Kane, but let's see. So I'm going to simulate to the last 5 years. Can Joe win a Premier League with Dagenham? And can he win a Ballon d'Or? And can he also break Harry Kane's international goal record? We're now at the end, boys. Joe is 40 years old. Let's see how well he's done in the last 5 years. Already I can see he he has 88 caps and he scored 49 goals, which is not quite Harry Kane's 78 goals. So he didn't manage to break that record, but he did have brilliant goal scoring seasons in the Premier League. He was averaging about 25 plus goals a season. I mean, in 24-42, at the age of 38, in 50 games, he scored 38 goals and had 7 assists. He also won the Premier League Golden Boot on 8 different occasions. That is incredible. He's definitely the player with the most Premier League Golden Boots in history. But unfortunately, in none of the seasons, he did not win the Ballon d'Or. That is crazy. He didn't even get shortlisted for a Ballon d'Or once. When it comes to the Premier League, Dagenham just finished in 11th place in the Premier League, and the season before they finished in 15th place, then they finished in 10th place, and then they finished in 8th place. So Joe has not been able to win the Premier League with Dagenham, unfortunately. And Joe played over 848 games for Dagenham, and he scored 615 goals. In history, that's more goals than Luis Suarez and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So overall, Joe had a very impressive career at Dagenham. He stayed loyal, he took them from the National League South, and in 20 seasons, he got into the Premier League. So he completed the objective of the video. But if you have enjoyed this video, click on this video right here, watch it, and subscribe. Vamos!